Hey foodies, welcome and welcome back to Cooking with Kiana. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get juicy, tender, and flavorful fall off the bone smothered turkey wings. When I tell you these wings are delicious, they are melt in your mouth delicious, and I cannot wait to show you guys how it's done. But before I begin, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys leave a like, and if you are new, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss weekly recipes. Now let's get started. Alright guys, so for this recipe you're going to need about 2 to 3 pounds of turkey wings. I already went ahead and soaked these in some cold water with a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it for about 15 minutes, and then I went ahead and rinsed them off. You want to do this to make sure there's no extra slime or grit on your wings. I'm going to be using a mixture of drums and flats for this recipe, but if you want to, you can use all flats. I've also went ahead and left the tips on. I like to do this because it adds a lot of flavor to our gravy. If you want to take those tips off, you can, but I do not recommend. So with a recipe like this, you really got to make sure that seasoning is on point. So I'm going to measure out the seasoning. You're going to need a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of Montreal chicken seasoning or poultry seasoning, 2 teaspoons of adobo, a tablespoon of smoked paprika. This is going to give it a nice smoky flavor and add a little bit of coloring. A half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons of crushed red pepper, and a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Now go in with your spoon and give everything a good stir until all those seasonings are well combined. Now you have the perfect mixture of seasoning for your turkey wings. Before I even start seasoning, I like to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil or any neutral oil of your choice. This just helps the seasoning better spread out, and it helps the seasonings better stick to those wings. Once you're all done seasoning one side, you're going to go ahead and flip that over so you can season up that other side as well. And you're going to make sure you add all of that seasoning, okay? None of that seasoning is going to waste. Just look at the size of my hands and look at the size of these wings. These wings are huge. So you really want to make sure you season these up really well. Go in with your hands, really rub that seasoning in. We want these wings to be seasoned all the way down to the bone, okay? We don't want any bland turkey. So you're going to make sure you really massage that in really well and really work that seasoning in. Once your wings are all nice and seasoned, you're going to roughly chop up 1 large onion, and you're going to add half of it on top of the wings. Then you're going to save the other half for the gravy. And you're going to do the same thing with the bell peppers as well. You're going to roughly chop that up, add half of that onto the wings, and then reserve the rest for later. Now you're going to add about a cup of chicken broth. Make sure it's only going on the sides. Do not pour it directly over those wings because you're going to wash off all that seasoning. Now add a thin slice of butter over every single wing, and I promise you this is going to make some amazing pan drippings. So you're going to go ahead and grab some foil. Make sure you close that very tightly. This is going to lock in that moisture and get these wings nice and juicy and tender. Then you're going to pop this in a 375-degree oven for 1 hour and 20 minutes. When they come out the oven, they're going to be nice and tender and juicy, but we're not quite done yet. I want to get some more color on this, and I want to thicken up that gravy a little bit. So as you can see, we got a lot of pan drippings that have rendered off when we cook this in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add all of those pan drippings into a large bowl, and then I'm going to set this aside because we're going to be making a gravy out of this. Now, if you want to, you could skim off some of that fat from the top, but keep in mind, do not skim off too much because we're going to need that for the gravy. So now let's get started with the gravy. To a large skillet, you're going to add 3 tablespoons of butter. Go ahead and let that melt. Once that has melted, you're going to add in the rest of your onions and your peppers. Give that a good stir until it starts to soften up a bit and those onions become translucent. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in my seasonings. I'm not going to add in too much seasoning because my pan drippings are already seasoned. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of creole seasoning, and about a teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper. Now you're going to go ahead and stir that in so all your seasonings are well combined and all those flavors can marry into each other. Then I'm going to follow that up by adding in 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And with this, you want to make sure you really stir this in and cook out that raw flour taste. So you want to let this cook for at least 2 minutes. Then I'm going to go in with those turkey drippings, making sure I add in a little bit at a time. So I'm going to add in a little bit, then I'm going to keep stirring that until it's a nice and smooth consistency. Once it starts to thicken up, I'm just going to keep adding it in. So I'm just going to gradually keep adding in those turkey drippings. You're going to make sure you use all the turkey drippings because that's going to really give this gravy some bomb flavor. Now you're going to add in 2 cups of chicken broth, and just like those drippings, you're going to go ahead and add a little bit in and then stir that and then add some more in and stir it in. So you're going to add that in gradually as well. Doing it this way makes it so much easier for it to thicken up and you save a lot of time. So once that gravy gets nice and semi-thick and smooth and creamy, you are all set. And this right here for me was the perfect consistency. It wasn't too thin and it also wasn't too thick. Keep in mind that it's going to thicken up some more when we bake this in the oven. Now it's time to smother these wings. So you're going to go ahead and pour all that gravy over your wings. Make sure you get that gravy all over. And any onions that you see just sitting on top of the wings, you're going to go ahead and push those to the side into the gravy. We're just doing this because we don't want the onions and peppers to burn. Also, so the wings can brown and get some nice coloring on there. So you're going to pop this back in your 375-degree oven for 35 minutes. And when you're all done, you'll have the most flavorful, juicy, and tender turkey wings that you've ever had. And look at how easy it was to put together. And it's only right that I basted a couple times with this gravy. Man, this just looks so mouth-watering. The wings are absolutely amazing. I like to serve this up with a side of white rice. Then I just like to take that wing, prop it right on top, and just smother it in that turkey gravy. Man, this is what you call some good old Southern style comfort food. You can make this for Sunday dinner. You can make this for holidays. You can make this for Thanksgiving. Honestly, you can make this for any occasion. But I'll tell you one thing, you'll surely impress anybody that you serve this to. That is why I left the full recipe in the description box below so you guys can make this at home. When y'all do decide to make this at home, leave a comment below letting me know how it turned out. I just love to hear all the positive comments and feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.